Hello and welcome to an e-demo of the POS features in Victor Unified Client. What we're going to do today is we're going to set up some point of sale objects in Victor. We're going to then import a Unified POS report containing transactions, and then we're going to be able to do a search on those transactions. So the first thing to do then is to set up some objects. So the first thing we need to set up is a store. So we'll go up to the Setup tab, select Store and New. Go ahead and give our store a name, and we also need to give it a retail store ID. This information then relates back onto the Unified POS report. We click Save and Close. We can then create a terminal. Again, Setup tab, Terminal New, and we'll give it a name. We can choose which store it belongs to from the drop down here. Obviously we only have the one that we've just created, so we'll go ahead and keep it. And we can give it a workstation ID, and again this information relates back to the Unified POS report. So once we have a store and a terminal created, we can then associate some other objects with that terminal. So if we click the green plus down here, you'll see that we can associate audio, cameras, salvos and text streams. We're going to go ahead and just associate a camera. You can of course associate multiple objects if you wish. We'll do that and click Save and Close. So we now have a store, a terminal, and we have some cameras associated with that terminal. So we're ready to import our Unified POS transactions. So if we go up to the Build tab, select Transactions and Import Unified POS, just navigate to the file and we'll click OK, and you'll see that the validation has begun. Once Victor has validated the information is in the correct format, it'll upload it to the server. Then it will process the report, and then it will give a complete message advising on how many transactions were accepted and how many were rejected. Now the reason in this case that I have some transactions rejected is because my report contains information for stores and terminals that we have not yet added to Victor. So now we have some transactions in there, we can go ahead and perform a search. So we close out of that and we'll go to the Home tab, and we'll open up the POS Search and Retrieve wizard. It's important to note that the POS Search and Retrieve wizard is different from the Video Search and Retrieve wizard. So if we open that up, we can either drag in a terminal or the entire store. So go ahead and drag the terminal in there, and we can specify a time range to search on. So I'm going to search on yesterday, and we'll use the calendar control to do that. And this section down here is where we actually build our criteria for searching. So if I click the green plus here, you can see that there's many items on which we can search. I'm going to go ahead and choose operator ID because I know the operator ID of the transaction I'm looking for. I can choose the drop down here in operator and say is, and enter the value of that operator. And if I click finish, and there we have 3 results then for that search, and you'll see that the transaction that relates to the video is also displayed alongside, and the video is opened in investigator mode.